I'm Kate, that's Jamie, and this is Two Dumb Bees.
Join us as we navigate the realms of the supernatural and unravel the quirks of pop culture.
Come scroll with us.
So you're going to talk about the 1,000-Pound Sisters, eh?
I love all that stuff. I really like 1,000-Pound Sisters, Honey Boo Boo, and Mama June. I love all that too. I'm all up in
Gross.
that. It's crazy. Mama June is evil, in my opinion.
I know, and it makes me mad that these people are publicized and glorified and...
I mean, nobody's glorifying Mama June. I will tell you, she's always in a bad light now. So if it makes you feel better.
Fair. But she's still making hella fucking money. And she's garbage.
Yep.
And she exploited the out of her kids.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into 1,000-Pound Sisters. But also, hello, Dumby besties. Welcome back.
Woohoo! Another week. Another video.
1,000-Pound Sisters star Amy Slaton arrested, facing charges of drug possession and child endangerment. What caught my eye about this story is the camel of it all. We will talk about that. The 1,000-Pound Sisters star arrest happened on Monday, September 2nd, after officials responded to a Labor Day call about a zoo guest reportedly being bitten by a camel. Amy Slaton needed a stretcher after cops say she was bitten by a camel at a Tennessee zoo.
Stop it. She did not need a stretcher for a camel bite. I mean, I've never been bitten by a camel, so I don't know.
They show...
I'm killed. You killed me with the stretcher.
And you can see the paparazzi. There were pictures of her in the stretcher with like a shirt or something wrapped around her arm.
Oh my God.
Upon arrival, deputies were immediately overtaken by suspicious odors coming from the guest's vehicle. The police department shared on its official Facebook page. Officials confirmed that Amy Slaton Halterman was arrested on illegal possession of Schedule 1 illegal possession of Schedule 5 and 2 counts of child endangerment.
Oh.
So someone called 911 for the camel. I don't know what really happened.
Like just a bystander called the cops?
I don't know who called the cops about the camel. I think it was Amy who called the cops, actually, allegedly. Because I don't remember. Pretty sure it was Amy who called the cops or who the guy she was with. But
I can just imagine in my head how dramatic the whole scene must have been.
yeah, and they had like magic mushrooms and pot in their car.
Makes
with
me wonder
2
what
kids.
she did to the camel. Like,
that's what I'm saying. But the zoo is saying that she wasn't even bit. They say that's a lie. And that the camel's never bit anybody before.
she better not be making up stuff about their camel.
So, yeah, it's kind of a mystery still. I'd like to know the whole story. I'd like to know what really happened. So, essentially, it sounds like she called the cops and claimed this camel bit her. And they get there and they probably, like they said, they could smell her car. They could probably tell she was like fuck or something.
Oh, well, yeah, I assume if she was doing the mushrooms, she was probably real weird when they showed up.
And she's got 2 little kids with her. That's so messed up. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Not while you have your children with you. If they're staying the night at their grandma's house and you got a free night to do it. Well, even then, because like, I don't know.
Don't expose the
In
public to you like that. Like, that's rude
well,
too.
and in my helicopter mom mind, I'm like, what if something happens? What if my kid falls down and he breaks his finger or something and has to go to the hospital, and I don't want to be where I'm like too effed up to be able to get to him if I need to. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But yeah. We'll see. We'll see where that leads. Hopefully some more witnesses come forward about that. I'd like to know. Because I bet that
So
camel didn't bite nobody.
I'm assuming they took her for a drug test at the hospital, which I know that I don't think mushies show up on. Like,
I don't know if they did or not, but they arrested her, so.
interesting. I am sure that her trial or her court will be highly publicized for our eyeballs.
Oh, 100%. I've been waiting and not looking up anything about this so that you could tell me about it.
Oh, and I don't even know where to start. So we're gonna talk about, because space freaks me out. Okay, I don't really know that we should be out there poking around. Okay, but that's just my opinion. But we're gonna talk about these poor astronauts that have been stranded in space since June 5th with no foreseeable future of coming home, I guess. These
Scary.
astronauts, their names are Barry Wilmore and Sonny Williams. They rode together to the International Space Station aboard Boeing's Starliner. They really need to find something other than the S's. The two will remain on the ISS as Boeing and NASA work to resolve a helium leak issue. Starliner experienced some thruster issues on the way to the ISS, and in addition to the helium leaks, I'm sorry, they experienced some thruster issues in addition to the helium leaks, and that's the end of that. And I just can't read. NASA, and they're my notes, so. NASA has said, though, while the spacecraft has been docked at the space station, that it has been performing well in orbit. But, like, it's hooked to the space station, so you're not, like, using the thrusters that you would be using to, like, propel this thing. Anyway, the space agency also said Wilmore and Williams are not stranded, as they could undock and fly home at any time if deemed necessary. Which we're going to find out that's not true.
Okay.
Shortly.
I was going to say, well, I'm going to need an explanation for that.
They originally said that they're being kept in orbit past their planned return to allow mission teams time to review the propulsion system data. So basically, they're making sure it's safe, but also saying that it's safe at the same time, but they don't really know that it's safe.
They're like, we really think that if you really needed to use it, you'd probably be okay.
Right. Like if there was like an emergency and you were gonna die if you didn't leave, like you could probably take it because that'd be your best option, but we're not recommending that at this time.
That's still really scary to me.
I
It's
would
almost
never go to
worse.
space. You would not catch
Oh,
me
God.
dead in no space station or aboard no
No.
space shuttle or anywhere else.
No
No space,
space.
no deep ocean,
Yeah, I was
anything.
just about to say no space, no water. It's not happening.
We are taking our time and following our standard mission management team process, Steve Stitch, NASA's Commercial Crew Program Manager, said in a statement. We are letting the data drive our decision making relative to managing the small helium system leaks and thruster performance. So, I don't know. They just be wordy. They were originally scheduled to return to Earth via the Starliner on June 22nd. And then that was pushed back to June 26th, and then it was pushed back again on Friday to an undetermined date.
Okay.
But they could come home at any time they wanted to. Reportedly, they knew there were some issues with the Starliner. It took 3 attempts for the Starliner's first crewed mission to actually launch because they just kept running into issues and having to tweak this and tweak that, and so they knew it was not quite right. The project is intended to provide a second option for astronauts and cargo to reach orbit. So in addition to SpaceX's Crew Dragon program. So SpaceX is really the only one that's shuttling people and resources to the space station.
Okay.
And they want to have another option, I guess.
Right. Yeah, definitely. A fail
Now we're
safe.
gonna talk about SpaceX. Because Elon's gonna have to rescue these people. Boeing's Starliner will come back to Earth empty, and the 2 astronauts who took it up into orbit on a test flight will return in a capsule built by competing company SpaceX. The long-awaited decision by NASA means the astronauts will have to cool their heels on the International Space Station until February.
That's so
February.
long.
They will have been there 8 months when they finally get to leave.
They were supposed to leave originally in July.
Yeah.
Oof.
This is a quote from NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, and he had said this at a press briefing. He said that spaceflight is risky, even at its safest and even at its most routine, and a test flight by nature is neither safe nor routine.
Right.
Because it is a test, and they really don't know what will happen. But Elon had a SpaceX capsule that was already scheduled to go to the space station next month. And I don't know why the return trip is planned for February if the capsule's going up there next month. I don't know, like, when it gets there, maybe they have to, like, do stuff to it to get it ready to go back.
Well, how long does it take to get to it, though? You know?
I guess what you're seeing, if it's like launching next month and didn't say like
Yeah.
landing next month. Okay,
Right.
fair. I guess I don't know how long that would take. But they decided to reconfigure some things so that the capsule would have 2 free seats available for Williams and Wilmore. But I don't know. I hope that nothing else goes wrong for them. They're already going to be trapped in space for 8 months, which I would lose my last marble.
If I had to go to space at all, I think I would just collapse of a heart attack anyway from
I would
the
just
sheer
physically
panic.
pass away.
Yeah, like I couldn't. No, I don't want
I
to.
would just
Thanks.
will myself to die at that point.
Yes, very that. But we are going to talk about the Colorado apartment buildings that everyone on TikTok is saying Venezuelan gangs are taking over. I'm sure many of you have seen the TikToks about the Venezuelan gang, TDA, taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. There's surveillance video of supposedly them, allegedly. This is all very alleged. A video of them roaming the halls with large automatic rifles and banging on people's doors out in the open. There are also claims that they are charging the residents rent to stay there. So all over TikTok, there's so many videos about this, and people are freaking out.
Right, there's literally like videos of people with guns like going in these alleged apartment buildings.
Right. It looks like them from what I could see. So, but there's no way to know just based on that if this wasn't just an isolated incident or something. But supposedly people are coming out and saying that this is what is happening. So everybody's talking about this on the internet. There's now videos claiming that the Hells Angels are coming to liberate the people in the apartment complex. And these videos are like really intense and revving engines and stuff. And it's a bunch of bikers. And this all seems much more like a movie plot than a real news story. The Venezuelan apartment building. Well, it's not a Venezuelan apartment building. That is what everybody in line is calling it. That is not really what it is.
Right, because the authorities are denying any
Yes.
Venezuelan gang activity.
They say it's possible, but they don't think it's overrun. We'll get there. I don't know. The Hells Angels video. Now, I started seeing speculation on these, and they looked kind of fake to begin with, in my opinion. But you could have taken any video of them just all together because that's like what they do. And you can put whatever text you want on that video, you know? So, but they were just saying, they're like, look at the trees. Like, it's late August. Like, these trees are bare. On September 1st, the sheriff of Aurora, Colorado did an interview and she said, we've been talking to the residents here and learning from them to find out exactly what is going on. And there's definitely a bigger picture. I'm not saying there isn't going gang members in this community, but we're learning out here is that gang members have definitely not taken over this complex. Originally, I had a hard time with this statement based on the video with the guns that's clearly in their halls. However, we don't know how comfortable the people were with telling the cops things.
Fair.
And then I saw Tyler Oliveira. He's a YouTuber and he kind of does like his own unbiased news. It's just him and a camera guy or just him by himself sometimes. And he does interviews and he goes and does his own thing. Well, he went there. He just went there and started interviewing everyone and like was walking it. So like I was able to see how many buildings. It's pretty big. It's multiple buildings. It's not just one apartment complex, you know, it's multiple big
Right.
apartment buildings. Um he's going around, he's doing interviews with the people who live there. Walking through, it just seemed like it depended on where you were in the complex, whether or not it was like bad or not. It was,
Okay.
which that's pretty. normal.
Right, because like if you think about a trailer park, like
Anything
yeah, it's a
like
little
that.
shady in the back, but the front houses are usually just nice, normal people.
Yeah. That's how it is with a lot of places with, you know, lower income and stuff. That's just how it's going to be. So it was like a mixed bag of people being like, "Oh yeah, there's shootings every night here." And then other people being like, "I mind my business. I don't see anything. I go to work and I sleep here," which
Those are the smart people.
yeah, pretty much. But there was one apartment building and it was like trashed. Like the like outside it was like garbage everywhere and everything like that. So you could tell like yeah, there was places where it was gross and not gross. So right now there's really no proof of what is being said is true about Venezuelan gangs taking over this. And it seems like it was just some isolated incidents and just in general crime, but not necessarily
Well,
organized
and that
crime.
potentially could have been them, like, whatever, trying to get some money they're owed, or not necessarily that they're just taking the place over. But I will say, and I mean, there's just so much going on TikTok all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to decipher what's like real and what's lies. But ever since, okay, so I saw about the Venezuelan gang in Colorado, and then there's Venezuelan gang in New York, and then there's Venezuelan gang in Chicago, and then there's
Yep.
evidently they're everywhere.
But like you what if it's all the same person making all these TikToks and they just really don't like Venezuelans or something?
Well, and so one of the
You know?
things I saw was that in Chicago, a migrant man got shot in the head on the sidewalk, and it was gang related because they had associated him with the Venezuelan gang. But if you Google it, I can't find any news articles about that specific incident. The only thing that I can find is that um, a lot of the migrant workers will go to like Lowe's or Home Depot and like wait for the construction crews to come through and pick them up. I guess that's how crews find their laborers. They'll just go to Lowe's and find migrant workers.
Yeah.
But a vendor had got in a heated argument with someone and then was like shot by security.
Oh
And
my
that happened
god.
on like August 10th or something, but I couldn't find anything related to like what I saw on the TikTok.
Yeah. It's so hard to know and you have to do all this research like just to figure this out. Do you know how much time and how many videos I had to watch and news articles
Yeah.
and that doesn't even mean that I don't. I mean, who the hell am I? No one. But I'm just saying like it you have to put a lot of work in it into deciphering what's real or not and whether or not you want to put that work in to decipher things for yourself. It's hard. They also said though, on the flip side to this, that a lot of illegal immigrants don't call the cops, and more than likely, if it actually was TDA or some claiming that they are TDA to scare the Venezuelans that do live there, which I thought that also kind of made sense too. I mean, everything is just a theory, but essentially the police and even the mayor of Aurora made a statement too, but they're like, there's no gangs. I'll read his statement. Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman. Those people that came and talked to me, it didn't seem fearful. Quite frankly, Kaufman said on Tuesday, they gave a lot of explanation as to why they weren't paying rent. There wasn't the property management there. I thought that the people who were the so-called gang members were extracting the rent from them, but the people that came up to me said that that was not the case. They wanted to stay there, but they wanted the place maintained.
I mean, that's
So,
fair.
yeah, just another layer. Everything's pointing to not gangs, but I still saw that video though of those machine guns in their halls. So, that's still insane. Obviously, there's
That's
still
still
problems.
terrifying. Like,
There's
right.
problems. And the thing about this is they showed how dirty some of like outsides of some of those units are. There was another big apartment complex in Aurora that they basically are condemning right now and told everybody they have a month to move out because the conditions are so bad. So they obviously have some kind of problem with their apartment complexes or
Well,
something.
and like, I don't know. Are they helping these people find other options, or
They don't necessarily want to put money into them because they're illegal. But I don't know. The mayor could be doing something. I didn't really look into it. Maybe he is. Maybe they have a plan and they are going to help them. I have no idea. But it's all a little weird.
right? And regardless, figure out, why do these people have machine guns?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely things going on still. And they need to clean up their act. I like how many.
Go ahead.
What?
I was gonna say, I have prepared a fun fact.
I was just about to say, I love how many N's you put in fun fact.
Because it is fun, because I thought it was fitting, being that we talked about the astronaut stranded. So Venus, Uranus, and Pluto all spin clockwise, while all of the other planets spin counterclockwise. And scientists don't know for certain why they rotate backwards, but they do have some theories. They suspect that with Venus, no, I'm sorry, they suspect that with Uranus, because it rotates on its side, possibly it was hit by a celestial body, meaning a planet-sized object ran into it at some point and
Huh.
cocked it sideways and made it start spinning wrong.
What?
Yeah. So we'll hope that never happens to us.
I didn't
Hi.
know there would such big things that aren't planets.
Right, like what was it then? What is I guess I should have looked up what a celestial body is. Maybe like a meteor? Like a big meteor?
I'm looking it up. A celestial body is a single, tightly bound, continuous entity, while an astronomical or celestial object is a complex, less cohesively bound structure which may consist of multiple bodies or even other objects with substructures.
That did not help me.
No. Um, objects in space, such as the sun, moon, planets, and stars.
So maybe another planet that went rogue bumped into it at one point.
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering.
Because potentially, if something big enough hit Pluto, and I know, don't give me no smoke, Pluto's not a planet anymore, but it's my favorite. It's still a dwarf planet, so I don't care.
I thought it was reinstated. I don't know. Oh, gotta Google that.
Anyway, next on the list we have. It was not.
No, you were right.
I miss Pluto. Cosmo keeps his corn there. All right. Anyway, tidal effects, where the sun's gravitational pull on Venus's dense atmosphere may have caused strong atmospheric tides, which combined with friction between the mantle and core could have caused it to flip. Or slowed rotation. It is possible that Venus's rotation became so slow that it stopped and started spinning backwards. And don't they say, I think, like, planets turn like a little bit slower every year? Don't quote me on that, but I think they say that.
Usually, you're right.
My brain does like to hold, like, weird little tidbits.
It does. It does.
And then Pluto spins backwards due to its tilted axis. So potentially Pluto may have been struck by something as well. We don't know. We don't know.
I didn't know any of this was a possibility. Didn't know that you could actually be knocked off your axis. Like a planet.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yep. So just hope and pray that we don't get knocked off our axis by another planet.
Well, that was fun and terrifying. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome. At least you're not stuck on a space station. Chances of getting struck by something out there are probably way higher.
Yeah, this is all nightmare fuel, so that'll be interesting. I'll have to let you know if I have a crazy space dream.
Oh, you should top it off with like a good alien movie for bed.
I think I won't be doing that, but you feel free.
I've seen them all. Like and comment and subscribe so you can keep listening to our BS.
Okay, I'm going to say bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.